All right, I've hit the play button, so the stream has officially started. 15 to 80 minutes from now, the stream will actually kind of start. So feel free to skip ahead. Because I don't know, it just takes me a while to get my shit together. Thank you for watching this VOD. If you haven't checked out the others, please do. If you're one of our regular VOD watchers, thanks for being out there. It's always nice when you guys pop into the stream and are like, hey, I've been lurking or watching the VODs forever and finally got to catch a live stream. That's always cool to know. It's shocking that you people watch the VODs. It's pretty cool of you. We'll see what the music level's like. I've made all sorts of adjustments and stuff. It's still, Unity's still just burning our retinas in the background. So we've just upgraded to 2022.3.12 F1 for those of you using Unity at home. And so, yeah, I'm just in the process of trying to get back in the editor and stuff. So may have to call an audible pivot, if you will, to doing some other shit if I wind up not being able to get in and Ollie can't save me. Chinny D, it was awesome looking on Discord earlier and seeing one of the new folks that came in, who was like, hey, are you, what was it from? What game did they know you from? From Ark. Yeah, that's right. It's funny, I had so many Ark names, but not just Ark. I was like, Lost Ark, Arcage, Ark. What's up, DDJ? 77777. How are you doing today? 7. Yeah, I'm gonna be silly for a little bit until this sugar and caffeine wears off. I'm struggling to be awake right now. It's 8:05, but due to daylight savings, it's 9:05 my time. We took a nap earlier, I'm not gonna lie. We slept from like 4 to 5:05 or something because Jasmine was off work early today. I woke up and I was just like, oh my god, I need caffeine. No Monster today. Today I'm drinking Mio Lemon Plus. I think Mio may be a German or a European drink. Yeah, it's German. Mio. GmbH. That's like their whatever, LLC or whatever. It's GmbH is how they say it. But yeah, DDJ, this song's pretty awesome. Schneid, thank you. This is actually a German brand flannel as well. LMS Gear, Last Man Standing, shout out. I enjoy their jeans and now flannel. They make fun, tactic, cool gear, so I can have my cool tactical sunglasses through the glasses holder. Beyond that, it's got I don't know why it's tactical. It's got a secret handcuff key pocket in the back hem. It's silly, but it's warm as shit, and I like them as a company. They're fun. Soon I'll be wearing lederhosen. I actually have a pair in the attic now. I think Jasmine's dad gave me a pair. Pack Attack 74, thank you for the follow. Oh my gosh, the Mio is making me burpy. Let's see, is Unity doing anything in the background? Nope, it's still burning my retinas. Okay, we'll check in again in a minute. Longest Path, if you're out there, I was sitting at my computer doing some stuff when I saw you follow as well, even though it was before the stream. Thank you for the follow. Chinny D, was Arc where you kind of you built your streaming reputation and stuff? Because I mean, you're verified. I haven't checked in a while. I thought I checked you out at some point. It was like, who is this person? Are they famous? Do they DSL in Germany? Costanza. We've got fiber now. We finally got fiber. But I think the fiber goes like, we've got this dope fiber and then it hits like a old copper junction box. So. Hey Darius. Robert. What's up, Bobby? I have a magic trick for you while we're waiting to see what Unity's going to do in the background. I honestly don't know what it's doing. Is this... It seems like it's doing something. I'll give it a few more minutes, I guess. Serenth, yeah, nope. They definitely have Topo Chico. So there are a lot of like super hipster areas. So within Hamburg, there's plenty of hipster space, like the Schanze and stuff like that. Berlin is basically nothing but hipsters. Berlin could be any American city, and so you can get stuff like Topo Chico there, but it's kind of more of an imported novelty. It's kind of like when I lived in Stockholm. About a block and a half from where I lived, there was a place called Austin Food Works. And when you sit down and it's like sitting in basically any place in Austin, they sell Lone Star and they had like all their sort of like, it's very Austin, Texas license plates and shit on the wall, right? Like Germans, Swedes, the Euros, the Scandinavians, like Robert. Robert can speak to it. The Euros, you know, they either love us or hate us. Americans, some of them hate us, some of them love us, apparently. According to my wife, supposedly. If you're to believe her. I'm Halloweening out, Jasmine. I'm Halloweening. So, I was actually... Wait, oh, you want to see? I can't see. Does it cover my head, babe? Yeah. Want to see? Well, I got a big ass head. So yeah, I've got... Yeah, you can finally get on stream. There you go. There's Jasmine. On the VOD. So I got this because basically my entire wall is just some green cloth. That's how I do my green screen. Because when I bought it, it was like 2020. I was in Stockholm, it's 2020, and you couldn't get green screens to save your life because literally everybody was at home streaming. So I just went to a camera shop and they had like a big ass like huge green cloth, old school style that you could use. So that's what's on my wall, but it drags the floor, so I cut it so that it would quit collecting dog hair. And I've got this huge strip of green cloth now, and I was curious if you guys thought it would be better for me to camouflage the mic, or do you like the mic? Does the mic give you kind of an old school radio show, TV broadcast kind of vibe? I'll let you guys decide, since you guys are talking about wanting surveys and participation and shit. Here's your opportunity to make a difference in the project. Is my mic visible? Don't say that we'd never listen to you. You're a mic enjoyer? Okay. I like the way you said that, to be honest. It kind of made me feel a little hot the way you came in with that one. Ooh. You like the arm? Okay, we got an arm liker, a mic enjoyer. The Sava has no issues with a visible mic. I think it's just me, actually. I think you guys, none of you are intending any of this to be innuendo. I've just had too much caffeine. Sean just trying to hide the fact he stole Harry Potter's invisible cloak. Yeah, Pattis. It's funny, I'm using the small one. I should just break out the big one. Reveal. Can I wear it on my head, the mic, or the cloth? Pat, it's the Ranger. What you got on my camouflage dog? If only it was that easy. People are tuning in to see game development and realizing that it's just going to be 3 hours of me screwing around with green screen cloth. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Let's kill this. Let's kill this and see if we can get to load. Sorry if I just burned your retinas. That's at least superior camouflage? Yeah. Holy sunlight. Flash of light. Hey, Phil. MT Gonzo, thank you for the follow. All right, let's click the button again and see what happens. I mean, absolute worst case scenario, if I can't get, if Ollie's not available to help me and I can't get Unity running, because we just upgraded today for those, or I just upgraded today. We just upgraded as a team, starting yesterday? We upgraded to Unity 2022.3.12 F1. And whenever we do that, I inevitably run into snags because I am not I'm not someone that defrags his hard drive, if you know what I mean. I'm not an actual computer person. I just happen to be in the industry. Like if video games were made out of cardboard, I would probably feel just as comfortable. Zombucket. What's up, dog? Yeah, so what Zombucket is referencing, guys, is if you go to our Discord, and if you're not on our Discord already, shame on you. Here's the link. We've announced that there will be a pre-playtest stress test. So we're doing a test in December. And before we have the playtest in December, we want to run another stress test to kind of check things out and see what stability looks like, because we've made a lot of improvements and changes since the big public stress test. Do I have a link I could share with both of these things? Okay, so this was sort of the test results of the big public stress test. I just linked it in chat. And if you're looking for... Oh, this is a completely different topic. If you're looking for more info, go to the Discord link above. Dayhawk, thank you for the follow. The other thing I want to mention is we're currently being featured on the subreddit, the MMORPG subreddit. We've got a developer spotlight there. So we're pinned at the top. If you go to that link, you can find us at the top. The response has been pretty awesome. The response has been We know that the MMORPG subreddit crowd can be tough sometimes, rightly so. So we weren't sure what to expect, but the response to date, it is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. The response so far, so we're halfway through the week, and the response so far has been really, really positive. We appreciate all of you that are our regulars that have popped in there and told people about the live streams and the VODs and our approach to development and helped answer some questions and stuff. Overwhelmingly positive, so we appreciate it, folks. Knock on wood. Hopefully it's not like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in the weekend when all the folks come out and they're like, "What is this shit?" So if you want to go there and spread some more positivity, give us a little upvote or whatever, we'll appreciate it. Chain D said you guys have some really great responses to some of the comments too. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Goblin's in there, Nick has been in there tackling stuff. I've answered a couple. So, I mean, it's how we do things, right? We try to answer stuff. Oh, interesting. So there's some questions about, it looks like I'm in now, and I'm just reading our Slack chat to see that Zukin has some questions. And Keith is giving him some advice. So, cool. Let's hop into a scene. Maps. Let's hop into Night Harbor. I'm in the wrong spot. Right here, Night Harbor. NJ Gray, thank you for the follow. Twirl, good evening. I immediately thought of 2 Chains for some reason. Again, let me know if the music levels are just too high. I can dial it back a little bit. 2 twirling chains? I could picture that, Tame Nova. Alright, so we've got some shader compiling that's going to need to go on since it's a brand new editor. Let's see what happens. Oof. Here we go. That's the look of shaders compiling. Disco. You can't see it because it's way down here. It's underneath, right underneath all this crap over here in the corner is where it'll usually say shaders compiling. All right. So far, so good. Let's look at the subscene loader. Let's load our subscenes. Night Harbor's so big that it's broken into something like 8 geo subscenes, and then we've got a sound subscene that Robert does his magic in. Those of you that are new here, the music in the background whenever we're hanging out in editor is our original soundtrack. You can find it here, and the guy that makes that music is probably lurking in chat still. So you can, if you enjoy what you hear, you can give him a little high five virtually. I should make a note to make like a little playtest command. Exclamation mark. Play test, because we'll wind up having a bunch of questions about the play test, the stress test that's coming up in this month, and then the December open play test. So that'd be a good place to keep that info. I've got such just a completely duct taped setup here. It's funny, people post their streaming setups and stuff in like my Discord or in the Eminem Discord, and they look so nice. They're so cool, so techie looking. My camera is using, I've got a selfie stick that, like a $5 selfie stick that came with a little janky ass tripod. And it's just hooked to a selfie stick and sat on top of my computer next to me. So I constantly knock it over and shit. Tutorial, thank you for the follow. It's a shame you can't see every time it's over here. It's compiling shaders. That would give you a little warning as to why everything's like teal or baby blue and kind of popping in. While this is going on, I'm going to check out that thread again in Slack to kind of see if there's some settings that I need to be changing, because Zukin was like, said that stuff was looking a little de-resed in game. So he had to delete his library folder as well. I did that, took a little bit of time. Tannhauser says, hey everyone, just wanted to point out that since the Reddit post, Eminem has been getting a lot of coverage. Saw an article on Massively OP yesterday. I will say the Massively OP folks have been really good to us over the last couple of years since we started. Give them a lot of thanks. Thanks to the folks at Massively OP for being so cool to us over the years. And our little old MMO. Starting to get some placeholder textures over the gray box textures in preparation for having visitors next month. And just in preparation for, or as we move stuff forward. It sounds like our new team member, Bilth, who you've probably seen in Discord now. Bilth has been doing some prop work, creating some props, and will be adding props in soon. If you keep an eye out for the coming October update, Nick has been pulling that together, so it's probably going to go out on time this month. So he's pulling that together, so we'll probably get it out shortly, and then you'll be able to see some of Bilth's props, and then you'll start seeing them in game. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else did Zukin have? 'Twas a resolution checkbox. Where was that? I'm looking. I thought it was up here somewhere. Is it one of these? Direct me to it if you don't mind, Zukin. Game tab. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. It was, that was, oh, yeah, I knew I've seen this before. Here. And then, if you uncheck low resolution aspect ratios, it gets better, in my opinion. So I have free aspect. What do you have? Oh, it's right in front of me. It won't let me uncheck it unless I do something else, I think. Full HD? Oh, I don't know that I've ever done full HD. That's scary. It still won't let me undo aspect ratio. Do I need to... My scale is at 0.69. Nice. What? You didn't realize we made those sorts of jokes here. I'm sorry. Oh, before I do that, let me run over here real quick. Let me just kind of run over here. Our dear friend Baloo has been working in the bins area. So this is kind of a, this is a district that's more gameplay focused. This is an even shadier part of town. So it's got a very, very sprawly feel, lots of danger. And lots of sneaking about. Will you get shanked if you go here? Yes, Mortis. I'm not even being my usual smartass self. You probably will. Though odds are we'll make it feasible that you can make friends with the shankers. The folks that shank, and then it might be a little bit safer. Cool. Is that the gang name? The Shankers? It hasn't been until now. You never know. Let me see if I can actually get in. I didn't want to tempt fate, so South Shore Shankers. That either sounds like a roller derby team, a gang from the movie The Warriors, or the name of a 70s punk band out of Detroit. Sounds like they came from New Jersey. Or New Jersey. For some reason I thought it had like a Detroit kind of vibe to it. I mean, Detroit's got a shore as well, right? Exactly, Stabby. Oh man, I loved that movie when I was growing up. I'm so glad my parents let me watch stuff that was completely inappropriate for me to watch as a kid. Warriors, come out and play, yay. Oh man. Look at me materialize in. Zukin, are you watching this? You're gonna have to watch the VOD on this. I think this needs to be a spell effect. Stabby said, oh man, my brother and I were allowed to rent anything in Blockbuster. Yeah, that was kind of the policy we had, starting all the way back to when, so I lived in Germany I lived in Germany from like age 8 until 11. And so we started with Inge's Video Store in Bad Kreuznach, Germany. So most of the inappropriate stuff came from Inge's. And this was back when, like, in order to watch HBO, I'd go over to my friend John Kowalski's house, because his family would mail them stacks of like VHS cassettes of recordings of HBO, just recording HBO. So I'd go over to John's house and watch VHS cassette recordings of HBO all weekend, and that was rad as like a 9 and 10-year-old. And then we finally came back to the US, and I was blown away by cable TV and eventually like the blockbusters and stuff. Zukin said that's how space lizards will be revealed. They just beam in. Or they have that effect and they switch from humans into lizards. Lizard people. Hey Baloo, we were just in the bins, buddy. Look at this little guy, he's awesome. Guy's backpack on, he is ready for adventure. So let's do it. Damn, this looks a lot better running it at full HD. I don't think I was running it at full HD, the editor, before. See if my computer can handle it. Pivoting from high fantasy to sci-fi, I see. Is that really weird for like an 80s inspired fantasy? Exodus was a computer, buddy. What's up, Jintaki? It is a cool load screen. We've got some just wonderful illustrations. Thank you, our dear Goblin. Is Goblin out there? I have a question for him if he shows up tonight. If you right click game tab, you can turn on full screen. Then you have, yeah, so depending on what I'm doing, Tasty Graph, if I'm in here and I need to bounce around to like scene view to do some work. Yeah, FPS is I don't want to jinx it. FPS is a lot better than it's been in editor. So what I'll do is, someone taught me to double click. Oh, interesting. This is a little bit different, so maybe I should be listening to your advice. Double click to at least go that full screen. Are you saying? So you said right click. Yeah, maximize does the same thing. Okay. Yeah, I think it was John that taught me the double click. All right, there we go. Well, it's probably, because it's compiling shaders. Again, you can't see it there in the corner. How many varieties of halfling feet are we able to choose from on character creation? Zukin, that's a you question. So if we go to 1, okay, and then we... Ah, cool. So Tasty Graph was just saying that running at anything lower than 1 may affect frame rate in the editor. So I'm curious to try that out. And I think I might have my UI scaled in editor. So let me... Oops. Again. Is that them just rendering in, or? Interface, UI scale is 1 at the moment. Okay. Zukin said, you mean hair color? It matches the hair you pick on your head? No, I think he's meaning like hairstyles. I was assuming what was meant was hairstyles. Halfling foot hairstyles. Is that a thing? Have we considered that? My feet need a landing strip cut after all, Jintaki. Shave it into a little heart. For Valentine's. Robert said John taught me some nice Unity tricks as well when we huddled yesterday. Yeah, John is he's a Unity pro. This is like the 4th game that he's worked on in Unity. He's got 3 of his own projects out there on Steam. Braided halfling hair is the stylish way to go. Tasty Graph wants some foot braids. As long as one style is called the Towhawk. Damn. Good one's on Bucket. Well, I got all turned around. I was lost there for a second. Now I know where I'm at. Just love the lighting. Can't wait to be deep in a mine and the torch goes out. So I was watching some folks in Friends and Family run into that situation for the first time when we first started Friends and Family. The Friends and Family playtest, when we kicked it off last December. And it was amazing to watch people in Wormsbane have their torches go out and just be terrified. So gotta get Ollie to look at this, but he's aware of it. He's aware of the bug. Now that I think about it, yeah, he's aware of it. We've talked about this. Is anybody in the zone with me? Cool. Time set 7. You know what? 5 a.m. Watch this up. Watch the sun come up together, and then I'll run over to the bins, and then we may actually. It seems like things are working, so we may actually do a little poking at some new implementation I wanted to try out all day. Tasty Graph said my first max level character in EQ was a halfling. Halfling what? Druid? Ranger? The Kilobox says, love the website updates that went up a while back. The lore for sure. I'm a sucker for backstory, so I think I've read it about 5 times already. Kudos to whoever writes it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I pulled the bulk of that text together from our lore, so appreciate it. Justin said, just want to pop in and say hi. I'm in the International Cryptid Museum, Portland, Maine. Bigfoot stuff. Oh, cryptids. Cryptids are wonderful. Watch out for skinwalkers. Kilobox says, can't wait to see more. Yeah, so we'll probably always be a little more tight-lipped than some teams when it comes to lore, right? We probably won't do a ton of like super deep lore write-ups on the website, just because our belief to date, and that may always change, but our belief is that we really want that to be something that you explore in game. We really want that to be more of a show than tell. And, you know, the goal for us is to really get a lot of that worked up and cleaned up and available so that it's easy for us on the design side. Just as we're working on NPCs, this is some of the stuff I want to continue to get into our GitHub issues, like our tasking system, so that we don't forget. It's just like, hey, don't forget there's a researcher over here that could probably have some more things to say about the area, or hey, one of the characters that you'll meet in some of the newbie quests are this young guy named Elrond. And, you know, he comes from a family of fighters who they're tough and brawny and badass, and he's just a nerd. And so he's always found in the library. But he's been really good at working with some of the key players in the city to acquire books and knowledge and stuff. So he's a pretty sharp kid, and so getting more information on him and making it so that if you're thinking about it, and this will be a spoiler, but the way that our quest system works in game is it's less about always having very clearly identified quest givers. It's more of a, once you realize, oh wait, this guy does this, maybe he wants this item I found, and you can give it to him, and a lot of times it'll just be like, this NPC does not want this item, and you're like, all right, fair enough, I figured I'd try. But sometimes finding the pages of a book in a book binding, combining it to get a completed book, and then taking it to someone that likes books. We've got a big library, we've got a floating wizard tower, we've got a dude like Elrond. Try it out, see, maybe they want it. So, Kilobox says, seems like there'll be a reason to go and hail basically everyone. Works for me. Yep. And that's the kind of game we're doing. Welcome back to Ultima. And then EQ. Gnomely fans said, Sean, did you write the summary for Gnomes in Eminem's webpage? It seems overly flattering. What? How dare you? I am objective and unbiased. It's simply what is true. Tasty Graph said, yep, halfling druid. Nice. If I was smart, I would have done that instead of a half-elf warrior. I would have been able to get around a lot more easily. Look at the city coming together in the daylight. It would be cool if you could use AI to give players voices so they could say whatever they type. The AI says it, or the player says it, or both. Nick just linked an article on that. We've talked about that a few times. That would be maybe just sort of a plugin or whatever, maybe unofficial. But I think text to voice has always been good just because for some people maybe it's easier. Like our big dog out there, Justin Beard. We've already made it so that the font size can be pretty damn big just to help out with some folks. Oh, it's in here, right? It's let me see, help, and then what is it? Font size or something? Let's scroll up to F. Chats. Somebody on the team that pays attention to stuff, you can always just tell me. Chat font size 1 through 20. So like this. Chat font size 1. Well, that's tiny. 5. A little bit bigger than normal. 10. Pretty damn big, y'all. 20. There we go. Tasty Graph said my second was a halfling cleric because my guild needed a cleric, called her Cinnamon Buns and gave her a Princess Leia hair because it's amazing hairstyle. I've always had a crush on female halflings. You guys have more textures in place since the last time I played. Looks awesome. Thank you, Droop. Yep, we're gonna continue to be touching some stuff up before the playtest in December. This is a big play space, guys. Those of you that are new to the game, newish to the game, first of all, welcome. But yeah. Yep, so those of you that are just rolling in, we will be having a play test in December. Before the play test in December, we're going to do a short stress test. It's been, the details have been announced in our Discord, so join our Discord if you have not already. Check out the announcement there, Nick's got it up. And yeah, so we'll be doing a stress test, so you can come in and play a bit this month. Why water graphics so good? Dan asked. Because one of our team members, John, has made 2 games about he made the games Salt and Salt 2. You can find them on Steam. And Salt 2 just came out, was it this year? End of last year? And he's still been updating it, but it's a game where you sail around in a ship and explore. I think somebody described it as, was it Sea of Thieves for introverts? And so that's why we have such dope water. Let's see. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying up here? Kilobach. I may just call you Kale from now on. Fewer syllables. It was too late to play base EQ, but the first guy I got over 40 on a TLP was no mage. Need to go back and play more TLPs, private servers sometime. Yeah, definitely. And if you haven't played like P99 or Project Quorum, check those out as well. It's been really fun. I'm a big fan of P99. But yeah, when I came back, I hadn't played EQ in like 15 years until I came back and started playing on the Aerodune TLP. And that's where I met everybody. That's where I met Ollie and Nick and Bunny originally. And that's really sort of the origins of this project, was from that period of time. Man, I love this shallow area here by the docks. It's one of my favorite places in a game already. Just because I'm not a big fan of like going out in the ocean. Like, I don't want to be out there. I never want to be out there, to be honest with you. Screw giant sea monsters and, miles deep water. Not a fan of that. But drinking some rum and hanging out around here I'm a big fan of that. And this seems like a very good rum drinking place. Yeah, as long as there are no sharks zooming around down here, that's no fun. Spoiler alert, there may eventually be some sharks zooming around down here. Oh, let me turn my light off. Let's see, what else is I'm missing? Sea monsters can grab you by the ankles on the dock though. No, they can't. Don't tell me that, Pattis. What else? I missed something up here. Vrumbra says the free game Moonring has a cool mud-based quest system, but some of the keywords are hidden out in the world, and requires you to connect the dots of what keyword to say to who. Yeah, I like that level of just sort of what would that be? Is that opacity? That level of obfuscation? I know a lot of people don't dig it, but I don't know what to tell you. Just go grind, don't do quests. You're EU based, Kale? I'm in Germany. Soulmort said, hello, I'm very excited you guys building this kind of game. We're excited to build it and we're happy you're here. Yeah, Project Quorum's had great population. P99 Green, for it being an older server, has had some really good population as well. sorry that you've got duty on the day of the stress test, Nerdy Squid. Maybe you can you swap with somebody? Did Ollie combine the character servers? I thought he said he was going to, so should be. Characters may be available for the stress test, but we may just give you all level 1s again for the stress test, but then let you hop back into your characters for the play test. Brandon Emo, I'm rooting for the guys. I will continue to root for those guys. They put a lot of effort in. I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of you guys, but just from my perspective, I'm always rooting for folks. But we're happy you're here. Has Eminem moved from proof of concept to full development? Nope, we are still in proof of concept. Simon, if you're still out there, for whatever reason saying Baloo always throws me because it's Baloo, but I always think blue as in that 80s 90s song, I'm blue, da da do da da da, or like the water. So Simon, if you're out there, the far side that you did for, well, there's probably still some more that we can do over here. At some point we'll have to get the sync up the far side of the river, like both the size of the gap and then the geo that you've been doing for Suncrete Strand over in Night Harbor as well. You know what? I need to add that to the list of things to do. We need to maybe sync some of the facades, like do a facade pass, and just make sure that we've got the latest facades with the latest lighting and stuff for each of the zones. Because for those of you that don't know, we're a zone-based game. So when you're looking past the zone line, it's a lot of that smoke and mirrors and facade, but we just use the same geo and copy paste and stuff. So, Baloo is here. Think of the bear from Jungle Book, which you like. Yeah, I do too, but I have trouble pronouncing it. Like I feel self-conscious. I always feel like I'm messing it up. But yes, is like Baloo. The big bear buddy. Oh, interesting controller thing right here. It's like the water is not deep enough to do what it was doing over there, but not shallow enough that I can walk. See, like over here, it's like, hello. Then it doesn't work here. Let me take a screenshot so I can remind myself. Small race issue, maybe. I'll put this in my notebook. We're still doing a lot of work on just tweaking character controller and stuff, which you can see here with some of the snapping. Watch. Well, that doesn't look bad, but there's some snapping, like when it's a bit higher, that was noticeable. Right, see, I just need a jump. Well, I got a hell of a jump. I'm like the Scottie Pippen of halflings. Zombucket said, one of my favorite early EQ memories is a buddy paladin needing to kill a shark for a low-level quest in Freeport. Had no idea sharks were in Freeport. Or I knew where some were in the ocean of tears. Yeah, there was that scary ass shark in Freeport. I love that you could just make a mistake and hop into the water and just get owned, or can get randomly killed if you go near the wrong person. That big influence on us. Trust me, if you wander around in Freeport without conning stuff, for those of you new to this type of game, conning is the C key. It's consider. It gives you some info about who you're targeting. If you do not do that in our game and you wander around the city, you will be killed. Bigger vertical than Dr. Disrespect. And that's saying something. That is a lanky lad. He is 6'10". Yeah, he's a big boy. So here, I consider this guy. Yorius appears uneasy with you. But he's low level, so... Or lower level than me, so I could just kill him. Yeah, I'm 6'2", and the difference between like 6'2" and 6'5" is considerable. When you're seeing people, 6'10" is monstrous. Sounds like a dangerous metropolis. It is. One of the things that we'll have to look at before the playtest is just performance in Night Harbor. At some point, I think we're going to hit a limit. We're doing a lot of different optimizations and, got NPCs spawned by area of, or sphere of influence and all sorts of stuff going on to help make it a little more optimized for you. But at some point, we may break this up into multiple zones. But we'll see how it goes. Monty's going to be helping us get a nice lighting pass going in here as well. So a lot of what you're seeing is placeholder lights. This will eventually be a clickable door. We go this way. Brandon Moe. I keep wanting to say Brand Dynamo. Anyways, Brendan said, I don't know if it's possible, but it'd be cool if there was a classic that dropped turrets that shoot spells or arrows, etc. A young boy. I think we'll have to investigate how the young boy made it into a game. We may wind up changing that. I have some ideas, but... You punch a young boy for 7 points of damage. Young boy going on 40. Yeah, well, it's a hard life here. It's a hard life in Night Harbor. I have slain a young boy. I don't know. I guess it's our game. If we want to have that in game, I guess nobody can stop us. Are we using ragdoll or the death animals pre-animated? It's all animated. Oof. Lord British love to do that? What? Beat up young boys? I cannot condone that statement. Lord British, if you're out there. Corpus said that. I do not believe that you ever did such a thing. ESRB just went up to M17 plus. Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to be drinking ale and smoking herbs, so he seemed to be a big fan of child battling. Yeah, I think that NPC will probably change. Any pipes in game yet that we can smoke? Not yet, but we'll definitely be working on them. Smoking long bottom weed. So I am actually a pipe smoker myself, of the tobacco variety, and it's wild because they've recreated all of the Lord of the Rings tobacco blends. You can get them all. There are a couple companies that have done them. All right, so let's do this. Does ESRB have any use anymore? Seems like indie games don't really care to get rated. I don't know. It's a good question, Rockab. I mean, I think it's mainly in the past. It was mainly, and I might be wrong on this. Honestly, it's been so long since I've cared about ESRB that I could be forgetting stuff. But it's mainly like if you're dealing with distribution. So if I was talking to Best Buy or whatever on behalf of the company, they may have some concerns. But since so many companies, like at the moment, we're not going through distributor, we're not going through a publisher, and we're not posting on a platform. So it's kind of like, Aeon240AD said, I'm sure people have asked already, but I'll ask, what do you think about how Daybreak is planning on working on a new EQ game to release in 2028? I'm excited to see what they do. How are the music levels? It's kind of loud in my ear, so let me know if Zoidberg, I would consider what they posted fairly. All right, I can lower it a little bit. Mesker. I can let's see. I can adjust it more if you guys have any issues with the music volume. There you go. The next EQ game, I'm not going to say EQ next. The next EQ game sounded like it was pretty much a go per the presentation that they put on to the EG7 shareholders. It sounded like they were kind of in a pre-production, looking to go into production. What? Didn't it say like 2025 with a 2028 release? So timeline-wise, that's great. What's up, Carricker? Normally fans, it just looked like, it's not that they are seeking financing, it was just more of they're a company with shareholders and a board, so they're probably just putting it out there as in they're continuing to look at the allocation of that money and ensure that they maintain like a green light for the project, if they didn't already have one. Droop, in all honesty, unless they're just wildly ahead of the curve and got more going on than they're letting on, I would assume that the 2028 date, if they start in 2025 for real, probably will slip. But hell, you never know. They could be one of the few projects that nails the dates. Okay, so what was I doing? I wanted to check some stuff out. I wanted to try something out for the first time, and then we can document it. System admin D. We do not have min specs posted for the game yet. And even with us running play tests and stuff, we probably won't have official min specs. Ollie, if you search around our Discord, I believe Ollie has given some rough like min specs. And I thought we had that. I thought we had that posted in Discord. FAQ is not on the FAQ. Anyways, that info has been around. So, and then as we get closer to release, then we'll have official sort of min specs. All right, so let me try something really fast. You can see, so when I'm running the built client, this is just an editor. When I'm running our actual built clients, my frame rate's a fair bit better. I'd say probably 20 frames better than it is now. And the computer I'm running is not like, it's by no means a beast. Talit said, the last test I was on a laptop with 1660, 8 gigs of RAM, ran fine. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be looking at the database a little bit. So my concentration will be off as I play with some stuff. Sorry, guys. So I may be quiet here. Again, let me know if the music levels are good. Intentional, thank you for the follow. Oh, by the way, I will be streaming again tomorrow. Usually I stream Tuesday, Thursday, but I just couldn't yesterday. And so I will be back here again tomorrow. Roughly the same time. I started an hour ago, just for those of you that are new here. Too busy trick-or-treating, we understand. Exactly. Jasmine got off work and she was like, we need to go trick-or-treating. No candy, I just ate cookies. Hey, Glurky. Didn't we eat cookies yesterday? Yeah, we did. We have cookies today. I went to the grocery store. So let's look at who do we want to test this on? Adnan. Alright, let's test this on Adnan. So show all. Guard Adnan, how are you doing today, buddy? So we've got a new field. First of all, I want to check something. What is, he's got a base aggro radius. Yeah, yes. Aggro back range, aggro front range, awareness range. We'll do, so since he's got an awareness, or since he's got an aggro range of 15, we just, Ollie added this in really quick. Let me, we'll keep it at 15 and we'll do 20. And just for now, what can we make him? Everybody else will wind up killing him if I make him undead. I guess in theory I could adjust my faction. If I make him... Well, all right, let's just see what happens. First of all, if we do this, we'll go... Okay. I'll move this over here out of the way so we can see a little bit better. And I'll make myself invulnerable. So right now, he's indifferent to me. That's great. I have Ollie or Nick, somebody, I just watched him use this command and I was like, oh wow, that's a badass command. I didn't realize we have it because I usually just repop the whole zone, reload the whole zone, and then reload the whole zone. Let me see. Reload zone. Reload target, that's what it is. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of factions already. A lot of those are just sort of temporary, just based off some lore we'd kicked around over the years. So if you sneak and like go back and watch the VOD, don't get too crazy, don't get too excited. Hey Goblin, I've been waiting to ask you a question. I will mention this again. So those of you that have come in here over the last little bit that weren't here earlier, we have got a developer spotlight on the MMORPG subreddit. If you want to go check it out, maybe give us a little upvote, that would be kind of you. Here is a link to that subreddit. Also, there's actually some really cool animated GIFs in there and some, you know, little details and stuff. So it's kind of cool to check out, even if you're aware of us. We did a really cool update. So check it out. The link is right there. You can open it in a separate tab. You don't have to leave. We've done really well. So if you give us an upvote, last time we counted, we are like 60 votes away from being one of the, if not the most upvoted developer spotlight games, which is kind of cool. Good feeling. So far, people there have been very, very positive. Like I was saying earlier, who knows? Maybe it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where you really get your ass handed to you by the community there. But anyway, back to my question for Goblin. When I looked at your user profile on Reddit, I'm fairly certain that's where it was. I remember, yeah, because you answered a question, I moused over you, and it was Goblin, 18 plus, with 17,000 like poster karma. That means you've gotten 17,000 points for posting. And there's an 18 plus on your name. Just how many goblin penises have you posted on Reddit? How many naked goblins could there possibly be to draw? How did that happen? You think I'm joking, but when I first met Reddit, I'm like, all right, who is this guy? Or sorry, when I first met Goblin, I was like, who is this guy? Cool website, cool. And then I was like clicking something, maybe like his YouTube link or whatever. And then I was like, is that Goblin naked? Is that a little goblin penis? And sure enough, I think I might have even asked Goblin about it originally. I'm like, so what's the deal with the naked goblins, dude? What's going on here? Oh my god, what did I walk into? Yeah, exactly. Liz, how dare you? It wasn't me, it was Goblin. I stumbled into it. There have been quite a few Goblin peens, but those don't do too well. Character says, I would love to know more about Resident Evil Akanon. That does sound very good. The Kilobach, no one's shaming anybody. Mockery is not shaming. It's just good, clean fun. Okay, so Adnan's been reloaded. He is now pissed at me. Great, so that's working. Nobody's walked by yet, so he hasn't gotten into a fight with his own guys, so that's helpful. Goblin said, I'm an artiste, so nudity is par for the course, to be honest. Yeah, why would you even become an artiste if you can't sneak your way into some nudity? Honestly, it sounds like 15-year-old me. If I could draw really well, I'd draw a bunch of nudity. We didn't have a lot of internet back then. It wasn't just readily available. It was funny. We were playtesting this weekend. A bunch of us running through Telekir, and at some point, my camera kind of went behind the goblin. The female goblin was she a shaman? And I was like, Goblin, is the female goblin wearing a Borat outfit? She's wearing like a Borat swimsuit. All right, so what I did here was I changed him to make him angry. Easily, I'll kill her so he doesn't wind up doing it. It looks like I actually need to reset my UI. Because I can't see my target and stuff. So escape here. Escape. Nope. I don't know why that stuff's not showing again. Save and close, escape. There it goes. Reset UI. Yeah, it's fine. Target's still not there. Is that a scale thing? It is a scale thing. Oh, he's probably gonna fight this guy. No? That's interesting. Goblin said, okay, my defense textures got scrunched weird. It was supposed to not be as crazy Borat. Fair enough. I believe you, Goblin. Some of the other folks here may not, but I do. I'm going to do that just so you can't see my horrible frame rate in the editor. Actually, that didn't help anything. Alright, so I got this guy targeted. So far, he hasn't killed any of his allies, so we can move forward with the test. What I want to do is basically come over to here where we got... So I've given him a awareness range of 20. We'll come back to that later, probably. And then we'll hit up. Awareness say. Cool. So, let's see. Goblin, you know I'm only picking on you, right? Sir Tomness, thank you for the follow. Intentional, did I thank you as well? 12 minutes ago? I thought I did. Let me scroll up in this Ollie conversation. Okay. Ooh, I wonder if he changed this or not. Hopefully he didn't change this, so it'll work. Oh, I can't eat that bird, thank you. I can't eat that cookie. Nope, not without milk. I don't eat cookies without milk. Nope. Nope. I'm so jacked up on this caffeinated lemonade that you need to take away from me right now. So take the cookie and lemonade. Cool. I'm sitting here sweating. I am so high on Mio Mio caffeine drink that I am sitting here. My hands are sweating. Alright, so Gold KOS. We'll do this. So he was going to name this, when I spoke to him, he said he's going to name this something a little less programmery. I don't know if he's changed that. So the command may actually be invalid now if he's already changed it. So we'll do this. We'll try this. See if it works. Is loot going to be generic with levels? Soulmort, what do you mean? Thank you for the confirmation, Insatiable. Oh my gosh. Insatiable. That's your new name. I've just given you a much sexier name. Feel free to change it. Goblin said the human body is so varied in proportion and form and the way to muscle and fat and weight and gravity work. It's an intense, high-end challenge to capture correctly, at least one perspective, because Liz was like, I never understood our class fascination of nudes. Listen, the human body is beautiful. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Tom Wells, holy shit. Sir Tomness. He said, Robot really enjoyed your EQ history streams. Brought back a lot of memories. This is Tom Wells, by the way. Tom, Jonathan Carricker is right there below you. Hey, if you would ever want to hop on and do one of those streams with me, that I would definitely be thrilled and honored to have a discussion with you. Goblin said, Robot, the goblin body is beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. Hey. I'll be honest, Goblin, you've also shown that both troll and ogre bodies can be beautiful as well. And I didn't even see what Mortis said. The human body, ogres, however. What? Have you seen our ogres? Our female ogres are gorgeous. Sir Thomas said, I have to think about it. I like keeping a low profile. You could wear a disguise. You could, if it's mainly your name, you could use a fake name. You could wear a disguise and a fake name. You could be extremely backlit and just be like a kind of one of those 60 minutes TV interviews with a voice changer. And then you could really spill the dirt. How to Sean on to catch a developer. Oh man. All right, so reload target. This guy's actually not doing much of shit. Torches look weird on such bright sunshine. Maybe we'll have torches be off during the day, and then we'll have a member of the Lamplighters Guild walk around, and then they'll come on at night. I'm fairly certain, since they're well, no, actually, these aren't placed as statics. These are placed in the world, but they are prefabs. So in theory, we could attach some of that logic to the prefab. We'll have to take a look at it. Let's try something here. Tom said, one thing I saw you discuss was Plane of Sky. Someone asked about Saren. That was Neris backwards, GM name of Tyler. At the time, I was the chief designer of the zone and had a ton of help from apprentices in making it. So Neris actually comes in here every once in a while, and we'll chat with folks in chat for a while. He's come in quite a bit and chatted with us. But yeah, there've been a lot of the questions about like Plane of Sky, Plane of Mischief. All right, so he sees at me. Let me change his script. Maybe a written interview? It's a little bit harder. That's a little bit different style than what we do here. And by what we, I mean mainly us, not me. I wonder, let me check, Dolly around. Copy image. Did you end I'll shoot that over to him. Zemus said to Tom, Airplane was such a huge inspiration. Thank you for that. See, that's the kind of love you can get if you come on here and talk to folks. No pressure. Kale asked, given how deep gnomes love metaphysics and plane jumping stuff, does that mean we'll get things like elemental planes as zones? There will eventually be some planar travel. And things that are like planes, there will be extra dimensional movement. Orange Bean said, hey, found this game recently through a video on YouTube. Looks excellent. You folks have something special cooking? Well, thank you for that. If you're not in our Discord already, you should join us there. We make announcements like the one we did earlier today about a upcoming stress test before the playtest. So be sure to check it out there. Let me see if I can find this in GitHub, actually. Maybe I can answer my question with some amateur code sleuthing. What would it be called? But then again, awareness. Let me see. Awareness. Yeah, Liz, we made a big announcement earlier today. There you go. I'm glad you're happy. So thanks, Sean. Life is always better with some happies. Yes. Of course. Alright, so awareness range. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm poking through code to see if I can find, to see if he changed what this is, how this works. Though if he had made a change, he probably would have shot an update. So let me try something different here. And let me take off this flannel. Holy shit. Caffeine's got me warm. Too much caffeine. Just get naked, dude. Let's make this stream interesting. I tell you what. If I can get the Only Gnomes domain, then we'll get this game paid for. Liz asks, how's the neck and hand doing? Hand is fairly jacked. Neck, actually, believe it or not, feels a little bit better. The ruptured discs seem to have, maybe the swelling's gone down from the injections because my thumb and fingers aren't numb anymore. The broken finger is it moves again. There's just some pain through the hand. But the finger next to it that was immobile in the cast, in the splint the whole time, I've got to go to a different doctor and see if he can help fix this, because the tendon tightens so much that you can see it's like inverted. It's like it's I can't even do it with this finger, right? It's pulled like backwards. I got like a witch finger. No offense to any Wiccans out there who maybe don't have witch fingers. But yeah, it's jacked. It's permanently like frozen. So we'll see if they can give it some injections and do something to make it move again. If not, then I guess I've read that you can get surgery to fix it. And if that's not the case, then I'm just going to get it removed at the first knuckle. Jasmine keeps laughing. I'm not bullshitting. It's in the way. It's just in the way. It's in the way. Find a doctor? She thinks a German doctor won't cut my finger off. We'll see about that. If I can't find a German doctor to cut my finger off if it's no longer working, then well, I'll either do it myself or I'll take a flight to any one of these countries around here that will probably do it. John MYT said, Robot, what's your professional development background? If you check out my about here on Twitch, it's got a breakdown of projects that I've worked on, or I can run through it for you. But chop chop, yep. This said needs a fair bit of stuff. Some things healed to it the wrong place. That sentence is either I'm too jacked up on caffeine to read, or that is a strange sentence structure, Liz. Maybe it will shift like my butt muscle did when it fused and I moved while I was a passenger in a car, screamed because it freed and hurt, almost to the point my boss drove up the ass of the guy in front of us. You had a frozen butt muscle? My wife's cousin could probably take care of your finger. Thank you.
Well, it's not like I could.
Yeah, I mean, Jasmine could do it. She's chopped some other little things off me. Cut some stuff out of me. Don't tell anybody. I mean, she is a surgeon, but she won't do it. Whatever, man. Okay, so back to the mission at hand. Something's not up with this guy anyway. Something's a little weird with him. I don't think the faction change. So let's try this. Give him a test aggro text. See if he's aggroing at all. Liz said Liz has poor non-existent grammar. I broke pelvis and lost 4 inches of bone on my thigh, and it meant muscles healed, fused a bit, and one day it moved in Manhattan for a while as it broke free. And I can imagine that being horrible. Horrible. That just sort of sudden popping. Soleil just said his background's extensive. I mean, I've worked on a few games, but I didn't mean to check my about as like a weird statement or anything. It's just, I think it's a more concise way to get the info. At least I'm polite when I drink from that hand. Yeah, there's a saying in Germany, Finger weg from Bier, or Finger weg from alcohol, means finger away from alcohol. So you can kind of drink like that. So I guess if I start drinking again, then there's always that. Excuse me. Taldarian said, hey, I'm not sure if it's okay for you to answer this, but one thing I still can't understand about making online games is if you place the NPC prefabs in game with everything set on their script, what is the reason for adding their information database? Because we don't place them in game. So when you're looking at, like, if you're looking, whenever we've been showing, I think this is the old one, right? So I can just close this, close tab. Let's go to M&M spawn editor. Averick, thank you for the follow. I am waiting for the spawn editor to load. I wonder if I just found a bug with us updating to the latest Unity. Because the spawn editors on my other monitor are just frozen. Oh no, Keith. What? It's doing something. Wow. That is nice and froze up. So we'll give it one more minute because I don't see anything loading here. It just locked up. Note to Keith. Oh, wait. There it is. Oh, okay. John said a bug in Unity. Pashan. Come on, man. You guys shit on Unity sometimes, and I tell you what, I have worked in so many worse tool chains. And yes, even the blessed Unreal. Because all of the tools, like when we first were using Unreal on DCUO, when it was I think it was an early version, Unreal 3. We were one of 2 Unreal 3 MMOs, us and Huxley from South Korea. And when we first got it, it was great to work in because Kismet was fully functional and Matinee was fully functional. I think all of that's in blueprints now or something. But it was super easy to prototype in. And then because we're making an MMO, we just gutted all of that stuff and didn't have tools for like a year and a half. So I've got the spawn editor and spawn inspector. Spawn editor here. To answer your question, Taldarian, when we look at stuff in here, so when we say prefab typically, like this scene is made up of prefabs, and these NPCs are prefabs, right? So if I click on the NPC, you'll see ultimately there is a art prefab, or if I click on this torch, it is a torch prefab, right? And so what that means is, but you know what prefabs are probably, but for anybody that's listening that maybe doesn't, essentially a prefab is, essentially I'm probably going to explain this shittily, so somebody out there could improve my explanation, sure. But you've got assets or a collection of assets that are grouped to create a construct of prefabs that you can then instantiate, right? So like this torch is the same as that torch. They're both from the same torch prefab. What that allows us to do then is if we modify the base torch prefab, like change this texture, then it'll automatically propagate out to all of the same prefabs. And that's cool because we can nest data and all sorts of like scripts, or if you look here, the sound is attached to the torch, so when you get it, you hear the crackling or whatever. We only had to do that on the prefab. So then when Robert modifies that sound, it propagates out to all of the torches. Okay, so, and it's the same with these NPCs, right? Now there's a little bit more complexity with how we're loading different textures and armor and items and stuff like that on there. For example, if you see a skeleton running around out there, it's a skeleton prefab. So there's a lot of just sort of base data with the skeleton. Or this Ashira, like if you look at this Ashira here, it's an Ashira prefab, but when we get closer, and it's because of my distance from the Ashira that it's not animating right now in this view. Because we do a lot of like level of detail. Essentially, the farther away things are, the less data you're getting. And now when I look at him, I'm fairly certain that's what's going on. Like, I'm looking at him, he's animating, blah, 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 in a distance. See? Now that I'm looking, it's like a... it's like Schrodinger's Ashira. So anyway... but if I'm not looking at them, then we don't need that. We don't need that data, right? So there's a lot of little optimizations that we have, and then more that we'll have. The billboard is actually the way that the UI is handled. So that's the UI that you're seeing when you're in scene view. So The question that you had is, why do we need a database if we've got prefabs? And so, like, a lot of things are happening that are data driven, that are working with the prefabs. So the fact that this Ashira is holding a spear, or a Triton in this case, but we're calling it a spear, because I think when I first made a bunch of weapons, I made a Triton and not a spear. So that is data driven. So that item is actually on his drop table, and that's why he's holding it. So when you kill him, he'll drop that spear. So that's one way that our database, essentially, we've got a NPC loot item group, which links to our loot item table, and that's what's driving the fact that he's got a spear. Now, the thing that I popped in here to show you, and we waited for a few minutes. So if you look at Night Harbor, the NPCs are prefabs, but they exist in the world because of the fact that we've got spawners that dictate where they're supposed to be. Ooh, interesting. Spawn editor does not have any of the zones for us to, or any of the, there's no zones in the dropdown. Let me check the old one then. And let's make a note about this. I'll take a screen cap. Here, and I'll post it to our Slack really fast so that Keith can see it. Keys. Bug discussion. Sorry, I'm real bad about like seeing bugs, and then just because I'm like, I'm streaming, I'm too busy to write them down. Sometimes I won't just immediately deal with them in Slack, and that's not me being a good neighbor. So let me do this right now. Keith, I just noticed that there are no zones listed in the drop down for the spawn editor. Dargith, that is not true. So let me... Are you guys using single scene or multi-scene approach? This zone is like 9 scenes, but a lot of other zones are 1 scene, maybe 2, with 1 scene being sound. So this has got like 9 sub-scenes. It's got a base geo sub-scene, a sub-scene for each of the districts for the most part, and a sub-scene for sound. And the reason for that's primarily been so far just to allow multiple artists to work on it because it's such a huge city. So Baloo can be in the back working on the bins in that sub-scene, while Bilth could be propping out the market or something like that. So it will allow us to potentially, if we decide to shift and make the zone multiple zones because of the size of shit, we might be able to leverage that as well. So zone panel is the old one. Let's see if it works. Night Harbor. I might need to update my database settings since Ali moved servers. I haven't done that in Unity yet, only in Heidi. I just need to update something on my end then, which is good. It's always nice when it's just but here, I can finally wrap up this question for you. Oops. Let me load our spawners. Salacia said, really hoping it stays 1 zone. Me too, to some degree, because we're doing so much in terms of you know, dropping stuff out with sphere of influence and all sorts of shit like that. So, oops. Why did I click that? That's not what I want. But yeah, on the gameplay front, more zone lines may make certain areas easier to fight in. Okay, so you know what? I think this one's not going to load either because it's got to be a Unity setting. So I need to just go in here and actually link this stuff up. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, no. That shouldn't be affecting what's going on. Anyways, all that I was going to show you was, let me... Here, YouTube. I'll give you a quick visual. Okay, I'll click on this. We'll hit pause. Okay, so the thing I was going to bring up, and it's taking way too long for me to do it, so I'll just show you here. Since I just upgraded to the latest Unity, and I don't have some shit set up properly. If you see these green things, like these, and they're numbered. So those numbers, like 468, this is when I was doing the Goblin Camp. So essentially, each of these is a spawner. The little goblin nose up front shows us which way the NPC's facing. We do have a request in there that I think it was either Liz or Lasava or somebody was like, hey, could you actually show the model of the thing that's going to spawn there? So got a future request in. We'll see if we eventually get that. But what I'm doing here is I'm placing these spawners in here, and that's saving that data to the database. And then typically what I would do is load I would load that in this view, and then that allows me to basically use all of the normal Unity tools to drag and turn and all of that stuff, each one of those spawn points, and then that's what drives why this guy is here, right? Hey, Quirrell. Liz said, hey Sean, is there going to be a hide all but my corpse option for the stress test playtest? Let me make a note of that. I saw stab typing, so he may actually get something. All right. So what I may do for now, while I'm looking to do that, is I might hide my screen for a minute, because there's probably going to be some info that I don't want you to see. Oh shit. I'm trying to remember the password. I think I remember. Boom. That's hidden. Let me see if this works. Sean, what's your favorite camp spot in M&M so far? The smuggler camp, maybe? Maybe? We had a lot of fun in Telekir the other night. Keith said he's enjoying the Crocs. Let me try. Zukin said, I like the little Ashira camp by the Night Harbor zone line. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's relatively new, huh? I think I added that after, or we added that, or it got added after the last playtest. Can we get a desert dungeon that has a bunch of sand giants in it, a massive temple with big halls built for giants? You never know, Mortis. Shift J said this is my favorite song from the OST at the moment. I'll tell you, this is the Glass Flats song. And now let's see. Let me try something really fast. We'll close this window. I think it's probably safe to bring this back up. Death by Gnome said, hey Sean, I see onlygnomes.com for sale. How much is it for sale for right now? Last time I checked it was $800, and that is too much damn money. And I swear it was $800, and then we checked again and it went up. It's like every time we check, they bump the price up. Oh, we are in hour 2. For those of you that are not aware, it's 2,500 now. Yeah, those sons of bitches. Those of you that are not aware, we've got a cool feature on Reddit's MMORPG subreddit. It's been really positive. The response has been really positive so far. It's been super cool. If you want to go check it out, there's actually some images you haven't seen before, some cool GIFs, and yeah, generally you can check out some of the feedback. It's been really cool. Like I said, we've gotten a lot of upvotes. If you want to give us an upvote there, we definitely appreciate it. Yeah, Dargit, that's what I assume. Yeah, check it out. You can open that link on another tab. You don't even have to leave here. So, zone. Oops, no. I'm already in zone. I can just hit play. I'm a dummy. Yeah, 2,500. If it was still just 800, at some point in the future, I might actually drop the cash to get only gnomes. You son of a bitch. Lonely gnomes? No, that wouldn't be as good. What the hell, guys? Oh my god. Let me blank this out again. I just got banned. Frickin' Ollie. We can do this. We can do at least this part without it. Oh, that was right. I was like, there's no way this is the right account. I've got a couple. All right, I'm back in. Death by Gnome said only gnomes would be an NC-17 plus site. No, honestly I just wanted that to be the URL to our merch shop. I thought it'd be funny. K-Sims, wait a second. Did you ask this question last stream as well? Who asked it last stream? That's because my response was there's a big pause, and then I said something about me extracting my foot from your ass for asking such questions. What? That was unprofessional. I will only be as professional as the team requires me to be. You have no say in this matter. Wait a second. Oh. Dude, you know what I've been like wondering what this bug is? Dude, somebody mentioned this earlier even. We were talking about this on stream, knew it was going to happen. So we have, for developers, we have invulnerability, so that these guys don't kill us instantly. And we have aggro, turning the aggro on and off. But the problem was, and you've seen this, if you watch this stream for any amount of time, you've seen this happen repeatedly. We zone, or we log in, we log out, and it wipes the flag. And so I'd be standing in the middle of a camp, and my aggro off flag would be deactivated, and I would just get murked, right? I'd just get steamrolled, and then I'd die. Then all of you laugh at me. Then we zone. Then I gotta zone back to the zone I was working in. Then I gotta loot my corpse and all that stuff. So John or Keith or Chip or somebody fixed the flag so that that it actually persists. And I'm guessing yep, it works. John did it. Yep, so it works. So we just saw this guard. You're very persistent. You talking to me? Zemus said, you mean /GM and your Z menu and the show and biz and stealth settings are independently persistent and documented? Zemus, are you being snarky? Is that some of that old EQ snark? Yeah, so anyways, let's see. This should work now. The thing I did. So, very much just a test case. As I get close, there's a 30-second cooldown in theory. So when I get within 20 units of him, he shouts, stay back or die. And then when I get closer, I get into his aggro radius and he comes at me. Right, so. So it's a. And so it's just a really simple concept. It doesn't have to be used in that manner. But it gives us essentially another field in the deep. Oh, maybe I should reload zone after. So yeah, basically I wanted to Oh, I didn't die. I didn't die, Dargus. Pargus. So that's that awareness say. So in theory, but there's not a big separation if his what's his aggro, like 15? I need to remember to reset his faction so he doesn't just randomly kill everybody's own. Yeah, so if his aggro range is 15 and his awareness range is 20, there's you know, in theory, for an NPC like this, we'd maybe have a smaller aggro range, just because the awareness would have to be so far out. Like if this guy's like, stay back or die. I mean, that's awareness from behind. Good question. Is it back 180? Because I think this close, no matter what, it's going to be a problem. Does the awareness trigger for each newly detected PC while the NPC is in aggro hostile mode? Awareness would not trigger when it's aggro, because then it would be redundant. And it will trigger on any detected PC with currently a 30-second cooldown, but we can change that if it winds up being goofy. I need to get... Yeah, you guys have at it. It's a good question, Nick. I'm not 100% sure. Because there's just an awareness range, and it's not divided into front and back. We could do it on a different NPC and see. Look at these guys. Let him start walking back. It would make sense that they can't see behind them. That's a fair point. Oh, and just the fact that I'm just turning off aggro like this probably means when I turn it back on... No, I'm off the list. Yep, so it's firing it same distance behind at the moment, Nick. Seemed like it took Ollie all of about 5 minutes to set this up, so we can definitely modify it. Cool. If there are multiple people with poor faction nearby, how would you differentiate who they're shouting out? Would it be a shout only UC? We have the ability to send, like, essentially, it doesn't need to be a shout. I just use a shout generically. It could be a say, or I believe we have the functionality to have it be a like client-specific say or whatever. For some of these, though, I think for a lot of cases, having it be open and local is better, just because it's meant to just kind of evoke that. And then if it's not you, then it's not you. For a number of these, it's going to be something like that's going to be applicable to the majority of people. Now on the flip side, that same message. So here, when we were looking at that, that same message, if I'm not KOS, will, or that same awareness entry can provide a different message. In theory, these can wind up being emotes, like sniffs the air. So if you're near something and thinking you're being sneaky, it may be like the Ashira sniffs the air before it aggroes you, that type of stuff. So it's just meant to, and in theory, with the way that this is set up, I wouldn't be shocked if it's not super hard for us to then also maybe even put triggers in here and things like that. So it might be something like trigger, spawn, ambush or something, right? So let's see, let me change this faction back and see if it does what it's supposed to do on the flip side. Cool. We have kill on site, sure. What about praise on site? Well, so this would be one of, essentially this would enable us to do that already. Captain William Riker, thank you for the follow, sir. Zemus, to your question, it was 30 seconds for, it's on the NPC, not on the individual. So here, because we're friendly with each other, then he fired off the other message, which was, hello, visitor, please come here. Right, so we could also do that with, we can do that with the vendors and things like that. Thoughts on global consistency in a scripted mechanic like guard messages? Example, dev1 makes their guard use shout, dev / shout, dev2 makes their guard use tell. Since this is handled on the NPC, if I understand the question correctly, since this is handled on the NPC, it gives us, it creates both the opportunity for there to be some conflict between designers if we want all of one thing to do one thing and somebody wants to do something different. I would say that for the most part, this should be set up in a way that like, we shouldn't be applying this to an NPC type. We should be applying this to individual NPCs. So it's one thing to apply it to a patrolman, because we're using patrolman in a lot of places. It's another thing to apply it to guard Adnan. So we wouldn't have it on skeletons necessarily. Like all skeletons, we would, oh, actually that goes against something I just said. If we wanted, we could have it on, for example, the Ashira. For that, we probably eventually want to be able to also leverage string randomization so that it doesn't start to get kind of redundant. For now, the primary use cases I was looking at were for certain areas where if you're getting near certain places you probably shouldn't be, we'd probably be using it mainly there. Or certain areas with like the merchants or wherever, where we may want them to have a call over to you. And then depending on how noisy that winds up getting, we'll either look at the cooldown on that and make adjustments, or we'll look at modifying these to mainly just be client specific for a number of them, and generic for other ones. It might be good to set the cooldown in the actual with the actual text with that in mind then. Yep, I'm still listening. Again, this may be one of those things that in practice, once we get it in there, it's spammy. We don't like it. We want to iterate and make it slightly different. But for now, this seemed like a good enough start. But since we don't really want this guy to have this, I'm going to go into the DB and clear it off now. All right, so now guard Adnan is back to his normal self. Though I could... Let me try something really fast. Yeah, thanks. I was just clicking on one of our channels. Nick had posted our latest stats from the MMORPG subreddit. Wonderful upvote rate. Again, thank you guys for the upvotes there. Do we have... Say... Let's try it and see. I don't know if he added that or not. I think the more interactions you can have with NPCs, the better, but I can see how it could be annoying if every 2 seconds he's spouting pleasantries. Yeah, and some of the stuff that we would do, like, so we have overlapping functionality, so different systems can do similar things, right? So like with the merchants, rather than use this awareness check, we could just have it so they don't care. Just they don't care if you're necessarily walking by. They're not saying it specifically to you. Actually, we could do 2 things. We could have on their spawn command, we can basically, the spawn point has commands on it. And so the merchant could be spawned in with like a barker type every 5 minutes. You know, the merchant that's staying there could be like, come check out my swords, right? And so that's just a loop that he's firing every 5 minutes. And then when you come by, maybe he could shoot you. I mean, he can even shoot you a tell, right? And be like, hey, you look like a bold adventurer. Come grab my short sword, right? And so then you're like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. And so then, yep. So we do support say. Want to buy a watch? Yeah. He opens his trench coat. So supports. So this say is just for me. That was a D say, so a direct say. Come grab my short sword, really? Lisava, I'm not a good salesman. off the cuff, top of my head. I am not a wonderful seller of swords. I don't know what you think that meant, but you look like a man in need of a sword, only 2 gold pieces. See, Liz, that's a much better sales tactic. I was put on the spot. You act like you act surprised for someone that just spent 15 minutes talking about trying to get Only Gnomes as a website, but it's too expensive. Well, look at this guy. He's got a cool outfit on. My response would be, I prefer long swords. Thank you, Lisava, because I was curious with your response there. I was like, is Lisava offended? Because you've been to the stream before. I don't speak. My sensibilities and the shit I say on this stream are reflective only of me. They do not reflect the greater sensibilities of the team or things that the team would say in general. Gnomely fans, I hear what you're saying. You're going for the two-handed sword, but you realize that we all know that you're wielding a moss-covered twig. I understand what you're going for. Yeah, all right, so that works. He's just howdying up a storm there, so. Oh my god, chat's just out of control right now. I'm glad people watching the VOD really can't read chat very well. Zarkin says, have you guys bothered with any of the business side of things yet, like forming company, getting trademark, etc.? Yeah, we have. Honestly, one of our bigger expenses, and it's funny, I've got a brand new email on that topic. Some more money to pay. One of our biggest set of expenses so far has been legal. So, and at some point, probably fairly soon, I'm going to ping Nick and Ollie and make sure there are no concerns on this front. But one of the things that I've been wanting to put up is like maybe a little pie chart. We've got our roadmap posted. Excuse me. And by roadmap, it's mainly like a deconstruction of, it's like a feature list. It's not really necessarily a true roadmap. So it's a roadmap in kind of a very general sense. But the one thing that I've been wanting to put up for quite a while is a breakdown of our expenses, so that folks, because we're working on the game is a commercial project, and we want to, a lot of our focus is in the development and promotion of the game, naturally. But this is also meant to, one of the reasons why we're so open with what we're working on, and when people ask us about a lot of specifics, we tell folks. It's because we want this also to just be some insight into the development process, and we've had a number of people come in and chat development with us, and we promote other developers, and are always happy to like compare notes and help people out. I know Ali and others have helped other folks on other teams and stuff. And so our goal is to encourage the indie scene while also naturally trying to make a successful product. So all of that's to say, one of the things I also want to put out there and be honest with folks is what it's taken for us to get this far with regards to actual costs, because people know that the team is working on this as a passion project. It's part-time, so you can kind of look at our pace of development and what we've been able to get done through the lens of the fact that we've got a team that for the first year was 4 of us, grew to like 5 or so at the end of the year. Then the second year, that's when we really like doubled the size of our team, and that's when we got art and tech on board. We had no art really on board in the first year, so I was making placeholder assets, and I mean, shit, some of the stuff like Shaded Dunes out there, you know, some of the bumps and curves are still from that original first year of implementation. But so we paid for like character work and concept work and some stuff like that. So we paid, you know, a decent chunk for artwork. So it was like legal expenses, art work, and then over that time, more and more, it's mainly been expenses related to some contract and legal work as it pops up, and then also primarily just your basic sort of operating costs, like maintaining our server, servers for playtests, software, and then everything that we use, like our website is Squarespace, just because it was easy for me to get set up originally, and then us to maintain now. So like Squarespace costs, Confluence costs, Slack costs, MailChimp cost, again, other like software costs, and shit like that, right? So our expenses are, I'd have to look, you know, we maintain spreadsheets of all this stuff, and we've got to do taxes and all that shit. We are a LLC. We do have a trademark for Monsters and Memories. The trademark has been approved, but it's basically in a holding pattern that every 6 months we've got to renew the sort of like, what's it called? Until we're actually using it to generate cash. Once we are taking in cash for the game and for merch, then we can show that we're using the trademark, and then we're done paying. But for now, every 6 months, got to pay a few $100 to maintain essentially the ownership of it prior to proof of use, or I forget what the legal term is. So yeah, I think I've mentioned the rough amount of what we've spent to date in the past, so I don't think that's anything where we've got to, like, there's any concern, right? Because I've thrown that out a few times. So I don't think there's a concern there. I just want to make sure it's cool before we just have it posted and pie charted up for everybody. But I think to date we've over the course of 3 years, we've spent roughly 40 to 50 grand, which when you compare that to other projects, you can see how much just the expense of having people on board full time is. So that then goes back and shows like how huge, like massive it's been for everybody to be willing to pitch in their time, right? So Zarkin said, find this very interesting, would enjoy seeing those kind of details. Are the businesses and legal US based? Yep. Business is it's an American LLC. The legal, the lawyers we've used are based in the US. We've gotten some free advice from a lawyer not based in the US, but we always just sort of confirm that. And we've got a lawyer. The lawyer that we use has actually got his own YouTube channel. That's how we found him. So here, I'll show you. YouTube. Because he's got a really cool YouTube channel that does a lot of like legal discussion about video games. Not Legal Eagle. Sorry, his hair's too good for us to use him. So we have used Rick Hogue Law, and he's got some great videos. If you're interested in like game specific legal information, it's just I'd been watching his videos, and so that's why I shot him a message and was like, "Hey man, we have some legal questions. What do you cost? Are you available?" And so, oops. Yeah, he's good. Check him out. I'll link him. And yeah, he helped us get things set up. This is a halfling Kroimish, because you can't have hobbits if you have hobbits, you can get sued. Did he have a stroke or something a while back? He did. Believe it was towards the end of last year. He had a stroke. He actually, if you go to his YouTube channel, he actually has a series of videos that talk about the stroke and his recovery from the stroke, and it's a really interesting, like pretty gnarly video series, because it talks about his stroke and his recovery. But he's streaming again now. He's making content again. He's recovered really well. But yeah, it was pretty scary. He got really fortunate that his wife realized what was going on, and oops, let me reload the zone again, or let me at least reload the target. Yeah, so reached out to him. Actually, he helped us with some stuff after then, and reached out to him and just was like, "Hey man, great to see the recovery," and all that stuff. So yeah, super cool guy. Very cool. Really cool videos. All right, yeah. So tested that out. We'll play with it, and we'll figure out how useful it winds up being, the awareness thing. And oops. So cool. What did I accomplish this stream? Got Unity updated and working. Discovered that I didn't have my database settings updated. Updated those. Let me confirm that solved the problem. Let me see. Looks like my character is praising the sun. Yeah. Not hard to do in this area. Added at least 78% more hype. I sure hope so. That's what I am here for. I am the hype man. I'm essentially the Flavor Flav of the project. Let me mark this as save for later. Awesome. Needs more clock necklace. Yeah, that is a fair point. If I'm gonna be Flavor Flav, I need more clock necklace and more fronts. I haven't had gold fronts since I was a teenager. Jeez. Yeah, boy. That's funny. I'm glad you remember that. I'm lamping. I'm Coco lamping. And they were correct. So I dumped Unreal after I made the settings, updated the settings and reloaded it, and it seems to look good now. So enable zone spawners. And you need to do a movie with Dan Aykroyd. Flavor Flav did a movie with Dan Aykroyd. Fairly certain that was Eddie Murphy. I used to look like Dan Aykroyd from Trading Places. I put on a little bit more weight and I had the same hair. Flavor Flav did a movie with Dan Aykroyd. I don't believe that. So yeah, to go all the way back to your much earlier question about data and prefabs, everything that you're seeing in orange, all these numbers, is data that's in a database. And so that's directing like NPC movement. That's some of these lines look a little bit crazy. And then these are the various spawners, right? So these are what dictate where things spawn. And since I'm in play mode at the moment, it's not moving. So that seems odd. Why would that be the case? That shouldn't be the case. I think that's because a lot of settings maybe got reset. Ah, that's what's going on. I was clicking Adnan, not the spawner. Okay. Fair enough. How many zones are you guys anticipating having when you consider POC complete? That varies, Cubby. That's something we've just kind of got to hash out together as a team. So unsure. Nothing but trouble film. No shit. Dan Aykroyd and Flavor Flav. Was it a good movie? So, sorry to not have a better answer for you, Cubby. Sir Thomas said, storing NPC data in a database for online games ensures consistency across multiplayer sessions and allows dynamic updates without altering game code. This facilitates scalability, simplifies debugging, and enables persistent NPC states across sessions. Offloading this data to a server can also reduce client-side processing load and enhance security. Did you just write that, or are you copying and pasting it for somewhere, Tom? I don't know, guys. You may be wrong on that. Okay. So I would say then chat, you are mostly correct. Tom said, joined your Discord. We can discuss interview. Awesome. I think it'd be fun. Because you've got insights. I mean, you were there well before I was, and you got some great insight there. Plus, I think honestly, there's some great like variant Sony stuff that you could chime in with, and then your career in general, I think would just be interesting for folks. You're a pretty accomplished dude, so yeah. Tom had some notes and then processed them with ChatGPT. Who is this backpack gnome? It's me. Do you think he's handsome? Yeah, those of you that like the music from the stream today, be sure you can it's in a playlist. You can check it out whenever you want. As a skateboarder, do you find yourself gapping stairs and running down hubas in MMOs? More so back in the day. More so back in the day. I wouldn't even consider myself a skateboarder anymore. But yeah, I mean, looking at this ledge. Fabrizio, hello. Night Harbor seems huge and so fun to explore. Yep, and we've got a couple more designers on the team now. And will there be actual camps to hold inside the city? Mob camps, that is? Yep, there will be. There actually already are. So this area here is already sort of going in that direction. And it's really going to be dependent on your faction. So if you've got shit faction with the red mantles and that's okay for you, then this will be a spot. Dibs on a brothel camp? I don't know that we've got a brothel in yet. Is that too far? If we had a brothel in, would that be too weird? We've got a number of taverns. We do have a bathhouse. Dragnet, I'm very open to stuff, so. A gnome brothel called the Shortstop. So yeah, as I was saying, we've got a couple new designers on the team. So Night Harbor itself will start to get a little bit more dangerous. By the time you guys come in for the full play test, not the stress test, then I've got the feeling that there will definitely be some stuff that you can accidentally stumble into and get killed. We've got a few. Like I said, we've got a few areas like that now, where there's some pretty bad alleyways and stuff. Let's see. There are a couple of these back alleys, depending on the timing, you can get ambushed. There's some sketchy people like these guys. So this may be a hint that this building is not safe. Depending on time of day, you may run into like some ruffians in some of these places. So there'll definitely be a ton more going on. But we got just little seeds of it in so far. Can you have an orphanage where a bunch of gnomes get held there against their will because they're mistaken for children? That's an interesting plot line. Tom said, my EQ history, EverQuest, Plane of Sky, Kunark finished zones Old Subilis, Vitian's Peak, Karnar's Castle, and others. Was also responsible for the bulk of items, including the spell items like the breastplates off track. Did many raid encounters. EQOA, I designed the mastery system, and the Alchemist for Frontiers also did quite a few of the in-game zones encounters before I left to join EQ2. EQ2 did melee class design for launch. See? We'd actually, if we provide that to folks before the interview, then people will have a lot of questions for you. It's really fun. Everybody's always been... I don't think we've had like a rude interview. Our community's super nice. There's a lot of love for EQOA. When we had Jake in here, folks were excited. There's a lot of folks that love EQ2. So you'll wind up getting a nice set of questions. Even when we had Jen on right after, I think there were some issues with the TLP launch or whatever, and folks were still, despite being kind of heated in other forms, they were super polite here. So definitely down to have you on. Let's see. Oh, cool. We're almost up to 4,500 members of the M&M Discord. And earlier we were at like 1,800 people online. That's pretty dope. Hey, Whiffmeister. Day is going good. My day is almost over. It is it's 10:59 p.m. So I'm about to wrap up my day, to be honest. So what I'll do is, now that you mention it, I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to stream tomorrow at the same time. Now that I've got Unity updated, everything set up, checked out. I can work on some stuff tomorrow. And yeah, I'll figure out what that is during the day tomorrow. So the wrap up here, don't forget we've got our spotlight, developer spotlight over at on the MMORPG subreddit. So if you want to support us, go there. Give us some upvotes. RJ Seltzer, I feel bad. I've been meaning for like 20 times now to thank you for the follow. I don't think I did 27 minutes ago. So thank you for being here. Yeah, so go check it out. We're pinned to the top there, or if you look on the side, there's a nice M&M. It's the Draco Lich image. You can click on that and it'll take you. Yeah, so give us some votes for people that know the answers to certain questions or whatever. Don't be shy if people have questions. It's always cool when people in the community answer it rather than us even. It just shows that you're engaged and hopefully you're correct. What else is there? I don't know. It's 11:01, so I'm going to wrap up. I will see you guys tomorrow. Essentially, whatever time it is in your time zone, just subtract 3 hours. That's when I start tomorrow. Yeah, and for those of you that aren't in our Discord, you missed the announcement that we're gonna have a playtest in December. It'll be a bit longer than the one that we've got coming up. We've got a oh, nice that this is already looking like it's being tackled. That was on our list for the playtest. That is cool. Who did that? Was that a chip thing? Anyway, we're gonna have a stress test. You can tell I'm tired now. We're gonna have a stress test this month. So go to Discord and in a week and change, we'll have another stress test. Zukin, see you, buddy. Wait a second, Tom, you buried the lead. So Tom said, post-EQ, I worked at Activision and Central Design for 7 years. I remember when you did that, dropping in distress games to help them. Yes. Then I was on Call of Duty as lead game designer for a few games. Got a Battlefield promotion, pun intended. Multiplayer design director for Infinite Warfare. Took a break that has turned into retirement. I absolutely want to talk to you. Is the link not working? Calvin Code. Did the link I just posted not work? Now it works. All right. Cool. This is the time of the stream where I say goodnight to everybody. I just took a glance at Discord and didn't see a message from you, but I'll look when I get off here, Tom, and then we'll figure it out. All right. So let me start at the top. Zukin, see you in Slack. Whiffmeister, take care. Check out the VOD, yes. Xylith, John did that this morning. Oh, awesome. Talking about the making it so that the zoom is not showing you it was weird because you could see the face looking back at you when you zoomed in. This is tight. Liz, you sleep well as well. DDJ, later, sir. Insensual. Have a good one. Robert, good night, buddy. Nomely fans, good night. Talit, you're very welcome for the stream. Good night. See you, Keith. Glurky, you're welcome. Soulmort, take care. Two Twirling Chains, good night. Miklas, you're very welcome. Zarkin, later, man. Death by Gnomes, good night. Lisava, you're very welcome. Thank you for understanding about the sword. Brent, good to see you, buddy. I honestly, Brent, I haven't looked at the audio stuff at all, man. I've been slammed. I got to follow up with you on that. Dragna, good night. Gilmore, good night. Orange Bean, good night. Bodymore Gaming, you take care. Be careful out there. Atame Nova. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Is that it? Is that all we got? All right. I'm going to get ready to wave goodnight to you. Boom, got that set up. All right, I'm going to push the button now, and I'm going to go brush my teeth, floss, go to sleep after I check Discord, and then get right back at it. Tannhauser. Adios. Tschüss. Ciao. Good night, Nick. But I'll see you in Slack. Let's be real. Cool. All right, I'm out of here. I'm clicking the button now. Bye-bye.